ask Coach Beard for some general thoughts on the game. Then we'll take your questions just for the two student athletes, and then we'll excuse them back to the locker room and then finish up with Coach. Raise your hand if you have a question, and we'll get one of the remote mics to you. And please remember to identify yourself and the media outlet that you represent when you ask your question. Coach?
Hey, good March college basketball game. Had to be great for the fans on both sides. A lot of respect for the opponent. Hall of Fame coach, 7-man rotation right now, in my opinion. Told the guys this last night. I think all 7 are either draft picks or guys that have a chance to be NBA players in the future. So we consider this a great win, maybe one of the best of the season. Arkansas had won 5 of their last 6 or 6 of their last 7. So to me, it was maybe even kind of a second weekend type game. It's a talented team. So I think both teams played really well in segments of the game. There was portions in the first half, in the middle of the second half, where Ole Miss was playing about as well as we could play. And then Arkansas, the same. There's portions, especially in the second half, where they were on full cylinders. So we wish those guys the best of luck in the NCAA tournament. A lot of respect for Coach Cal, and a really good win for our team. I don't really kind of view this as the first game in Nashville. Again, I view this as we just competed with a team that, to me, has second weekend NCAA tournament written all over them.
All right, we'll take your questions just for the student athletes. Raise your hand, and we'll get one of the remote mics to you. And let's start right here on the front row.
Malik, Jared Redding, 24/7 Sports. You're on the second consecutive meeting with Arkansas where they kind of really struggled to keep you off the glass, and just the points kind of spoke for themselves. I guess what have you kind of liked about the matchup that you've had in both of those meetings, particularly culminating this one today?
That's long questions, Daddy.
Yeah. It's March. We got to show up and bring our best effort. It's not really about the matchup, but I think it's more about the team and just figuring out what's going on offensively and defensively. So just being in attack mode and being aggressive.
Next question, front row on the left.
Neil McCready, Rivals.com. Sean, you'd missed your first 6 threes. What was going through your mind on that shot? Can you take us through that play a little bit?
Yeah, shooters keep shooting, I guess, is the mindset. At that point of the game, it's March, you got to make a play, and my mindset was just get off the best shot possible. Transition 3. I felt like nobody picked me up. If they did, it was a little bit far back, so at that point I was just teeing up a good shot and just fortunate it dropped.
Next question, I think on the far left.
Yeah, Sean, if I could ask, Neil kind of hit on it, but was it frustration, or before you hit that shot, how were you feeling? Were you hesitant on the 3? You hardly ever go 0 for 6 on 3s.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I was hesitant just because, I've shot that shot countless times in my life, or just I put the work in basically. So even though I was 0 for 6, I'm a confident player. I shoot confidently, and that's what was required tonight. So again, just fortunate that the last one dropped.
Did you know you were 0 for 6?
Yeah.
Next question, front row here on the center.
To both the players, y'all lost to Auburn twice. Got beat pretty bad the last time. How exciting is it to get another shot?
Malik, would you take that first?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Really want another crack at them. I think we've got the team to beat them. We've been preparing, and I think right now we're playing really good March basketball, and our coach is strong. So super excited, and it's going to be a big challenge, but I'm ready.
Same
We're
for
ready.
Sean.
Yeah, I just say anytime you get a chance to play one of the top teams in the country, it's a good opportunity, good chance to kind of test yourselves and see where you're at, especially heading into March. So, they've beaten us twice, but I think we come out best effort and fix the things we've been messing up on and practicing. I think we'll be good.
Got time for one more question. Anyone for the players? Okay, go ahead. Far left.
Yeah, for both of you guys, Joe Rexrode, The Athletic. Just wondered from a player's perspective, what has it been like going through this grind this year with this SEC?
Sean?
I feel like it's been really fun, more so than anything. This is my first year in the SEC, so this is just what I'm used to as far as what the SEC is like. But I think it's really fun just that every single game you're playing a tournament team, if not a top 15, 10, 5 ranked team. So the competition is insane. So for me, it's just fun to play good basketball day in and day out.
Super fun. It's a blessing. I look at it as, not a lot of people have the opportunity to do this. And especially at this time, the SEC probably being the best conference in the history this year. So it's just super blessing, such a blessing, and just so much fun to play in this, like each and every game, like you said, playing against really good competition. And I think it's just going to make us stronger for March. I think playing against quality opponents each and every game is just something different.
Thank you. We'll excuse the student athletes. You can return to the locker room. And we'll continue on with questions for Coach Beard. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. Let's start in the center aisle toward the back.
Trevor Denton, Way 31. Coach, what are your thoughts on facing Auburn for a third time this season after what happened in the previous two meetings?
Yeah, opportunity. One of, if not the best team in college basketball. It's a 40-minute game. So, it's not going to be the better team. It's going to be the better team that played those 40 minutes. So I think we would all agree that Auburn's one of the best teams in the country. I think we'd all agree it'd be a great challenge for us, but it's a 40-minute game. And that's what makes March special. So we don't have to be better than Auburn. We just got to be better than Auburn for 40 minutes.
Other questions? Raise your hand. All right, let's go to the front row on the left.
Chris, you referenced it a little bit at the beginning, but a game like today followed by a game like tomorrow, I know it's not a carbon copy of what's to come next week, but does this sort of prepare you a little bit for what you guys will face next week?
Yeah, I think so every step of the way. Just like non-conference games, Louisville, Purdue, BYU, Colorado State. These are NCAA tournament teams. Certainly in our league, every single night you're playing against an NCAA tournament roster, coach, team, and talent. So, 2 tournaments in March. We're fortunate enough to know that we're going to participate in both. We actually came here to win this tournament. I know a lot of people don't understand that. So we set this up. We always say the first game in any tournament's the most important. So it's a singular focus, laser focus. Only thing we talked about was our first game. So 4-team tournament. We beat BYE. We got the bye. So that was our first game. And today we won the 4-team tournament. So now it's on to the next 4-team tournament. Again, most important game in any tournament. It's the first game. So for us, it's all Auburn. We'll obviously have to play our best 40 minutes of the season. But that's no different than when you get to the NCAA tournament. You better put your best 40 out there, especially as the rounds continue.
Raise your hand. Other questions for Coach? Let's go to the third or fourth row in the middle.
Zach Morath, the Rebel Walk. Coach, we noticed McKeel Brown-Jones wasn't necessarily on the bench today. Is there a plan for him moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Just had it personal today. We hope he can rejoin the team as quick as possible. So it's just a personal issue, period. And so McKell's a big, big part of this team. We don't win this game today if McKell Brown's not on our team.
Okay, next question right here on the front row.
Hey, Chris, Anthony Christensen, WholeHogSports.com. You mentioned just what you think of this Arkansas team. Just what have you made of the turnaround that they made from the 0-5 start they had in league play?
Yeah, here's my look on it. It starts with Coach Cal. Has been doing this a long time. Not just the Kentucky, lead story on SportsCenter every night, but also at other schools around the way. UMass, Memphis, and others. So, he knows what he's doing. It's proven over time. So, I think their team, like most teams, has changed throughout the year. They had a lot of adversity early with injuries, things they couldn't control. But now when the dust settles, again, in my opinion, this is a second weekend type team. The 7 guys in their rotation right now are really, really good players. So we value this as a huge win, almost like a second weekend type win for us. And I think with Cal, I think when he got to 0-5 or something, and I just kept explaining to our guys in the locker room as we watched the SEC list, when I say these are NCAA tournament teams, I never had Arkansas not on that list, even despite the 0-5, because with that talent on the roster and that coach, it's just a matter of time until they figured it out. I would argue they're playing the best basketball of anybody in the country right now. Is it 6 out of their last 7 in the SEC or 5 out of their last 6 wins? And you think about this league, and then you think about that, like a 2-game winning streak in this conference is like, a honeymoon, a vacation, they want to build a statue for you if you can get to 3 in a row. So for Arkansas to be playing the kind of ball they're playing right now in late February and March, I think speaks a lot about their talent and their coach.
Next question on the second row on the right.
Hey, Chris, John Huang, NOLA Media. I know it's a team game, but you talked about personal challenges and going up against Hall of Fame John Calipari. You get to take on Bruce Pearl next. How satisfying is it for someone like you to play against those guys and find a way to beat them?
I'm not sure what you mean by somebody like me. We won at Fort Scott, then we won at Seminole, we won at McMurray, we won at South Carolina, we won at Angelo State, we won at Little Rock, we won at Texas Tech, we won at Texas, and this is year 2, and we're winning at Ole Miss. And I don't say that in a self-promotion way at all, but I'm going to take up for our staff and our players and stuff that the way you worded that was like, I don't know, this isn't my first rodeo. You know, I might look young because I got a haircut last night. I've got this trendy beard that my daughters like, and so, you know, but I've been doing this for a minute. So, but to answer your question, anytime you have a chance to coach against a Hall of Fame coach, absolutely. We all understand that. To say anything different would not be truthful. So in this league, it's almost every single night. So Coach Cal, and then tomorrow, Bruce Pearl. So, yeah, we'll see where we stack up. But this is not our first rodeo.
We'll take 2 more questions. Let's go to the far left, third row.
Chris, following up on what Malik was saying about this league, maybe strengthening the teams, or, you know, for the NCAA tournament. Do you believe that, or do you worry about wear and tear heading into that event?
I think both ways, and that's a conversation the basketball people have. Even the coaches talk about that in our spring meetings. You know, it's like it's the gauntlet, and you know, especially the 2 teams that play on Sunday in this tournament, and you turn back around, you could be playing on Thursday. So, you know, one, the obvious. You played against great competition for 2.5 months, and so you're going to be prepared. There's nobody you're going to see on that bracket that you haven't faced those types of challenges. But 2, you know, I think the other side of the coin, it's worth kind of thinking about because this is an absolute grind. I think there'll be other teams in the tournament that, not that they've rested, but they haven't had this mental and physical challenge, you know, twice a week since you know, early January. When I was younger, I would always go, players can play forever. We grew up playing all day long. It doesn't matter, you know. But, you know, we got a banged-up team. I think everybody in this tournament's probably banged up in some way. So I know recovery, sleep, hydration, rest. When I first got started this, you know, our practice schedule would be 2.5 hours. Our practice schedule is 45 minutes now. Like, we understand that recovery and rest and mental rest as well is really important. I think nobody will know until we see. We'll see what happens. If this league produces second weekend teams, third weekend teams, and has a couple teams in the Final Four. You know, it's be interesting to see. And just from a basketball fan, I pay attention to that too.
Got time for one more question, anyone? All right, let's go to the center in the back.
Sean just said he knew he was 0 for 6, but shooters shoot. I mean, what's it like to coach a guy with that type of mindset at the end of a game?
Yeah, we got a few of those guys. You know, they're just guys that have extreme confidence. No matter what the situation, score, time, short-term memory. Sean's one of those guys. We've got several of those guys on his team, which is another reason I think we have a chance to be a factor this month. You know, like tonight, perfect example. We get 5 guys in double-figure scoring. That was the design of this team. All these guys checked their ego in the recruiting process. They knew what they were signing up for here. We never talk about leading score. We never talk about points per game. But Sean's one of those guys that has the courage. He wants the ball in those moments, just like we have a couple other guys with that mindset as well.
Thank you.
Thanks.